Okay, let's just cut to the chase. Are you worried an AI is going to take your job? I mean, it's the question on everyone's mind right now, no matter what you do. Well, we're about to dig into this huge report from JN Springfield Strategic Intelligence, and believe me, the answer it gives is not what you'd expect. It's not a simple yes or no. It's way more interesting than that. So, let's get into it. All right, first up, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Here's the number that's fueling all that anxiety. The report projects that by 2030, AI is set to displace about 92 million jobs around the world. I mean, think about that for a second. That is more than the entire population of Germany. It's a massive, kind of scary number, for sure. But, and this is a big but, that is only half the story. Not even. Because check this out. In that exact same time frame, AI is also predicted to create 170 million new jobs. Yeah, you heard that right. So what we're looking at isn't some kind of job apocalypse, it's actually a massive job creation event. The key, the whole trick, is understanding what's really going on here, the difference between the jobs that are going away and the new ones that are showing up. So this really gets to the heart of it. You can think of AI as this classic double-edged sword. On one hand, yeah, it's automating a ton of the routine, boring stuff. But on the other hand, it's creating this huge new need for people who can build these systems, manage them, and figure out creative ways to use them. And when you do the math, it actually comes out to a net gain of 78 million jobs. So this is not the end of work. It's a massive, fundamental shift in what work is. And this right here, this is probably the single most important idea to get your head around from this whole report. It's not about replacement. It's a reshuffle, a huge one. Our jobs aren't just disappearing, they're changing, being reorganized around this new partnership between us humans and these incredibly smart machines. So, okay, if it's a reshuffle, what's that actually going to look like? Well, the report gives us a pretty clear timeline. All right, let's talk about the timeline for this great job reshuffle. How is this all going to play out over the next few years? And you know, this whole thing is already happening. By 2025, that's right around the corner, we're looking at 85 million jobs being displaced. But get this. We're still projected to see a net gain of 12 million new roles. Then, fast forward just 2 years to 2027, and a whopping 42% of all manual and routine tasks are expected to be automated. And then by 2030, the whole reshuffle kind of matures, and that's where we land with that total net gain of 78 million jobs. It's happening fast. Now, this change isn't just about what your job title is. It's about the actual tasks you do every single day. By 2030, the way work gets done is going to be split almost down the middle. We humans will still be in the driver's seat for about 58% of tasks, while AI and machines will handle the other 42%. I mean, that is a huge shift in how we've, ever worked. It really means that succeeding in the future is going to be all about collaborating with AI, not trying to compete against it. Okay, so this all sounds big and abstract, but what does it mean for you, for your job? Are you on the front lines of all this change? Let's take a look, because the report gets pretty specific about who's going to be most affected. The report is super clear on this one. The jobs at the most immediate risk are the ones built on routine, the predictable stuff. We're talking about cognitive tasks like processing data, but also, surprisingly, some content creation jobs like writing basic copy. AI can just churn that stuff out pretty well now. Then, looking a little further down the road, you've got sectors like transportation and even parts of legal research that are bracing for some major disruption. Now, this next point from the report is absolutely critical. There's a pretty big gender gap when it comes to who is most exposed to AI automation. Look at these numbers. 8 out of 10 women are in jobs that are highly exposed, compared to 6 out of 10 men. That's a 21% higher exposure rate. And why is that? Well, it's largely because women are still disproportionately represented in many of the administrative and support roles that, frankly, are the first in line to be automated. So with all this change happening so fast, it's no surprise that it's causing some real anxiety. And who's feeling it the most? Well, it's Gen Z. Over half of them, 52%, are concerned about AI's impact on their careers. And it makes sense, right? They're just entering a workforce where the rulebook is being totally rewritten as they go. But as you can see, the concern is pretty high across the board for every single generation. Okay, so how do we actually navigate this new world of work? The report says it all comes down to learning a completely new set of skills. It's like we need a whole new playbook. So let's break that down. The skills that used to be valuable, they're routine, repetitive, follow the rules kind of work, that's the stuff that's getting automated. The skills of tomorrow, the ones that are becoming more valuable, they're the things that are uniquely human. We're talking about collaborating with AI, big picture strategic thinking, true creativity, and empathy. It's a huge shift from just doing tasks to really orchestrating outcomes. And if you need one stat to really put this all into perspective, here it is. By 2030, 40% of the core skills needed for most jobs will have changed. Let that sink in. 40%. Nearly half of what you need to know to do your job today will be different in just a handful of years. This isn't just a small update, it's a full-blown skills revolution, and it's happening at lightning speed. And that massive 40% skills gap, it leads us to this next number, 120 million. That's how many workers around the world are going to need some serious retraining, and not by 2030, but within the next 3 years, just to keep up. That is a global challenge on a scale we've rarely seen before, and it means we need to get serious about reskilling, like yesterday. All right, enough with the big, scary numbers. The good news is the report doesn't just point out the problem, it actually gives us a clear, actionable game plan. So what can you start doing right now? It really boils down to 3 key steps. Step 1, master the tools. And I don't mean just playing around with them. I mean get your hands dirty, become truly proficient with the AI platforms that matter in your industry. ChatGPT, Claude, GitHub Copilot, whatever they are. Step 2, focus on those human-centric skills. Lean into your creativity, your empathy, your ability to think strategically. Those are your superpowers that AI can't touch. And finally, step 3, start thinking about and preparing for hybrid roles. A job where you combine your human smarts with AI's processing power. Think of it like a financial analyst who lets an AI crunch all the numbers in seconds so they can spend their time actually talking to clients and coming up with brilliant strategies. That's the future. These are 3 things you can literally start doing today to make sure you don't just survive this reshuffle, but you actually thrive in it. And really, that's what this all comes down to. The data is pretty clear. AI is going to create a net total of 78 million new jobs. The work is going to be there. So the question isn't, will there be jobs? The real question, the one this report forces us to ask ourselves, is will we be ready for them? And that right there is both the challenge and the incredible opportunity of this great reshuffle.